This war was supposed to be quick, a show of overwhelming force, a reminder of who dominates the skies and the region. But that's not the war we're watching, because Iran is not fighting the same fight. It understands the reality. The United States and Israel have more advanced weapons, stronger air power, and deeper military resources. So instead of trying to match that strength, Iran is doing something very different. It's changing the rules of the wars. Instead of winning fast, it's making the war long. Instead of overpowering the enemy, it's making every move costly. This strategy has a name, and that is asymmetric warfare. The idea is simple. If you can't beat your opponent in a direct fight, you don't fight directly, you avoid their strength, you attack their weaknesses, and most importantly, you drag the fight out. Think of it like this. Imagine going up against someone much stronger than you. You don't stand still and exchange punches. You keep moving. You stay unpredictable. And you make them exhaust themselves. That's exactly what Iran is doing. Let's break this down. First, the air. Iran is deploying cheap drones like the Shahed 136. These drones are not high-tech. They're slow, simple, and mass-produced. On paper, they don't look like a serious threat. But here's where the strategy becomes clear. These drones force a response. Every time one is launched, it has to be intercepted. And those interceptions are expensive. Missiles, defense systems, tracking, all of it costs money, and not just a lot. So even if the drone gets shot down, Iran has already achieved its goal, because the cost of stopping the drone is far higher than the cost of launching it. And when this happens again and again, the balance starts to shift. Not in terms of firepower, but in terms of economics. Now let's move to the sea. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical waterways on the planet. About 1/5 of the world's oil passes through this narrow stretch. Now here's the key point. Iran does not need to block it completely. It doesn't need a full shutdown. All it needs to do is create uncertainty. And uncertainty is powerful because markets react to fear faster than facts. Shipping routes get disrupted, insurance costs rise. Oil prices spike. We've already seen prices cross $100 per barrel. And when that happens, the impact is global. Countries feel it, industries feel it, consumers feel it. This is not just military pressure. This is economic warfare layered on top of it. Now let's talk about land. Iran is not fighting this war alone. It's using proxies. These are armed groups spread across the region, aligned with Tehran. And they play a critical role in this strategy. In Lebanon, Hezbollah is engaging Israel from the north. In Iraq, Shia militias are targeting American and Israeli interests. And this changes the battlefield completely, because now the conflict is no longer contained, it spreads. Instead of one front, there are multiple fronts, and that creates serious challenges. Military resources have to be divided, attention gets split, and responses become more complicated, because any direct strike inside Iran could trigger reactions across the entire region. This is how a weaker power stretches a stronger one thin, but Iran's strategy goes even deeper than that. It's built on something called a mosaic defense. Think of it like a network of small independent units. Each unit can operate on its own. There's no single point of failure. So even if leadership is targeted, even if key figures are removed, the system doesn't collapse, it keeps functioning. It adapts. And that's what makes it difficult to defeat, because you're not fighting one central force. You're fighting a system designed to survive disruption, and that's exactly what we are seeing. Despite repeated strikes, despite pressure, Iran is still standing, and it has reorganized, it has appointed new leadership, and it continues to operate. Now here's where history becomes important, because this strategy is not new. We've seen it before. In Vietnam, the United States faced a weaker opponent, but that opponent refused to fight on America's terms. Instead of direct confrontation, it used terrain, time, and persistence. And over time, the cost of staying in the war became too high. The stronger power didn't lose in a single battle. It lost over time. The same pattern appeared in Afghanistan. The Taliban didn't try to win quickly. They stretched the conflict for years. They made it expensive. They made it exhausting. And eventually, endurance became victory. That's the real lesson here. And that's exactly what Iran is applying. This war is not about a decisive, quick win. It's about prolonging the conflict. It's about raising the cost, militarily, economically, and politically. And most importantly, It's about testing willpower. Because in a long war, strength alone is not enough. What matters is how long you can sustain it, how long you can keep spending, how long you can keep responding, and how long you can keep going without breaking. And that leads us to the real question. This war is no longer about who is stronger. It's about who can last longer. Because when the cost keeps rising, when pressure keeps building, even the most powerful nations have limits. And at some point, they have to decide, is continuing this war worth the price? And that is exactly the game Iran is playing. Thanks for watching. This is Global Decode 13, where we break down global power, strategy, and geopolitics in simple terms, no noise, no hype, just clear understanding. If you want to see what's really happening beneath the headlines, make sure you're here for the next Decode. I'll see you in the next one.